Okay, in our last videos, we did the main and styled the background and size and floated it left. And in the next video, we gave a background color to our side and floated it to the right. And we even did a custom H2 anytime something is in the aside to make that kind of match our headers here and separate it from H2s that are in the regular part of our page. So next we got this footer that right now, because we've got floats, wants to tuck up underneath and in between here. And obviously that's not how we want that to look. We want all of that to drop down to the actual footer. So we're going to style that next. All right, come to our styles page. Scroll down a little bit. We've got a place where we did our aside styles. Let's next do footer styles. Now probably the first thing I need to do is get that thing from floating down below. So to do that, you would think it would be float : equals none, but that's not what we use. The CSS we need to write is the property clear, and then we're going to choose both. By choosing both, it means that we're going to clear left and right floats. All right, let's see what that does. Right now it wants to float up here next to it, and now it doesn't. Now that all gets tucked down to the bottom, and that's looking a lot better. Another thing we may want in our footer is for everything to be centered. So this little copyright Philo Enterprises, let's go ahead and center that. So we can go ahead and in our footer, we'll have text align, center. So hit save, and now that is nicely centered in our footer. Now you could add a lot of background colors if you wanted to. I mean, I kind of like how my site's looking right now, so I'm not going to bother with it. But if you really wanted your entire footer to have be a solid background that included the nav, you could do that. Let's just take a look at what that would look like if you wanted to do that. So we would give it a background color. We could choose that same 333. We could give it some padding. Now our nav at the, let's see, we could give it any amount of padding we want. Let's go ahead with 8 pixels of padding. If we add padding to any kind of box type HTML element, we want to make sure we add our WebKit, our border box items. There we go. And maybe we even want a minimum height or a height on this. So we could say height is 300 pixels. So it'll make it a thicker footer. Hit refresh, and that's what it looks like. That's kind of a thick footer. Maybe we don't need so much, so we could drop that down a little bit. Make sure we always save before we go and preview the changes. That looks a little bit better, but now we have this copyright text that is this text is a little hard to read. All right, so in our footer, we can change the color of content. Oops, I'm hitting the wrong buttons here. And we can make text in the footer be, say, a light gray. Maybe it doesn't have to be white, although that's going to look pretty close to white. Anyway, that looks a little bit better. If you wanted more padding on just the top, perhaps to push this down and make it look a little bit more centered, we could do that. So let's go with, let's push it down a fair amount. So right now this says we'd have 32 at the top, 8 pixels, and let's make our bottom also 8 pixels. Actually, let's just make the bottom 0. I'll put in PX. You don't have to put in the PX because there's already padding in the nav below it. And that probably looks a little bit better. There we go. And that's how you real pretty quick and simple. Now that you're getting the hang of a lot of these properties for boxes, you can really style things quite nicely and very simply with just background colors and unique text properties and link properties to create that proximity feel to your website and also create contrast. Okay, let's see. That might actually be the last video for this particular module. Well, actually, no, it's not. What we're going to do is we have some image styles that we have to fix. Because we have inline styles for these images, but we want to get rid of those inline styles and put them into our cascading style sheet instead. So that'll be next.